Do you believe that movie theaters will come back to the way they were before? Or do they need to do something different in order to attract people again? And I think that this is a very timely question, as right now there are new rumors arising that Wonder Woman 1984 is going to get bumped into 2021. That despite Warner Brothers being somewhat bullish about trying to get Wonder Woman in theaters by Christmas or on Christmas, it looks like they're going to be moving it to 2021. And if I can just discuss that part of this for a moment, I'm fine with that. I honestly kind of feel like it would only be natural to just, if we all just pretend that 2020 didn't happen and all the movies that were going to come out in 2020, you just come out on those same dates, but next year. So, we already know that Wonder Woman is a proven commodity in June. That's when her first film came out and did record numbers, and it was just the right time for that movie. And that's why it was such like a victory when Wonder Woman 1984, after a few different, shifts with dates, which is actually kind of funny when you think about it, because there's been all these shifts thanks to COVID. But even prior to COVID, somewhere like 2 years ago, that date shifted around a couple of times. You remember that? And Patty Jenkins kind of had to come out and do a little damage control and explain, guys, you're making a lot of, big deal out of nothing. We want to open in June. We don't want to, because I think originally they were trying to get it out in November of 2020 or something like that. And there was a shift. So this Wonder Woman 1984 has been shifting around for a while. But sorry, that was just a little bit of a tangent. But yeah, so I kind of feel like, you know what? Wonder Woman is a proven commodity in June. So it makes sense to me that let's just move it a year. And while we're at it, move all these movies that were supposed to come out into their same original release dates. There was No Time to Die, the latest James Bond, which was supposed to come out at the end of April. And then, everything went to hell in March. What about Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters? What is it? Afterlife, the new one? May as well give that its original April release date. My point is, give all those movies their original release dates, just delayed by a year. To me, the logic checks out. If we're just basically looking let's just skip over 2020. Let's just act like this insane year didn't happen. And let's just continue as if nothing. But I know that the studios are going to start feeling pressure, and then they're going to start, because we don't know how long this thing is going to take. We don't know how long until there's going to be a vaccine. We don't know how long till there's going to be enough people who've been vaccinated to warrant just a 100% reopening. We also don't know what people's habits are going to be when the pandemic's over. There's probably going to be a lot of people for a bunch of years who are not going to be all that excited about congregating and going to movie theaters and being inside of, dark rooms with no windows with a bunch of strangers. It might be a while. So, that's another thing to consider. While I would love to let's skip 2020 and open everything in 2021 as if nothing, unfortunately, we don't know. So, it's going to be fascinating to see what ends up on a streamer, what other types of gambles they try. Because honestly, when it comes to the theatrical experience, it's been something, and now this gets me back to Tavo's actual question. Sorry for the tangent. But, what the theater industry has been trying to do over the course of the last 10 years or so is their answer to slumping ticket sales is to raise the quality of the experience, to give you more amenities. I'll never forget, around 10 years ago, my local AMC, the Fresh Meadows, suddenly became like the pilot theater for all of New York City. Imagine that. Not Manhattan, not one of the bigger theaters, not like the AMC that's on 42nd Street in Times Square. No, the one that's in my little neck of the woods in Queens. they converted it into the reserved seating, into the big like lounge chairs, the big leather sofa recliners, and and they didn't raise the ticket price at all. I'll never forget. I'm like, wait a minute. So I can reserve my seat. I'm going to have a crazy comfortable seat that I can basically like lay down in, and you're not going to charge me more. I mean, listen, it was like the coolest thing in the world to me at the time. I'm like, this is the best. But that was sort of began on my end here in New York, is where AMC started basically developing and unfurling this, like, we're going to give you a deluxe experience. Because the market research was starting to show that people, more and more people were staying home. That as the quality of home theaters raises, as people get, bigger, better TVs and enhanced, surround sound home systems, as the overall quality of the home theater experience rises, so decreases the desire to go to a movie theater. In other words, if you can replicate near movie theater-like conditions at your house and still now have the ability to pause the movie when you got to go take a leak, and you don't have to worry about who's sitting in front of you or behind you, are they going to be talking through the movie, all that sort of stuff, you don't have to worry about it. And for a lot of people, they've stopped going to theaters because they've got it good at home. So what the theaters have been trying to do is, we'll make it even better. So, I know now that the AMC out in Levittown, out in Long Island, was converted into a dine-in. And I know that the Alamo Draft House chain of theaters also has this whole thing where you can get liquor and food and snacks delivered directly to your seat. And I think they're onto something over there, by the way. I don't know if anyone has the opportunity to go to an Alamo Draft House, wherever it is that you guys live. But if you've got an opportunity, if it's a decent drive, I think it's worth it, because it's a pretty unique theatrical experience where, yes, not only is there the cool thing where you can order drinks and basically a 3-course meal directly to your seat with your little tray, and there's a waiter, there's a server who comes and brings you your stuff during the movie. Not only is there that, but there's all these cool like theme nights and cool like vintage trailers and other quirky things that they do prior to the movies, where like there'll even be like trivia, or there'll be all, they make it like an interactive, very sort of fan-centric experience. And that sort of stuff, to me, you can't replicate at home. And I suspect that a lot of theaters are going to start offering like more for that. Up until now, the quote unquote contract that movie theaters make with us is, we're going to give you a big screen, some loudspeakers, some popcorn and soda and candy, and that's it. We're just going to give you that and you're on your own. Now they're going to have to, little by little they have been, but overall they're going to have to start offering more. They have to give you more incentives. They have to make the theatrical experience more special so that people will want to leave their homes to go experience these as a more sort of communal thing. And circling back to something I brought up a couple episodes ago, where, COVID and the pandemic may be the end of movie theaters as we know it, I also brought up that, I think in the place of the current theatrical model, I think something else, something special may arise from it. A more like fan-centric experience with theme nights and retro movies that show at the local theater. Things have gotten so corporate over the years. The big chains, I remember you used to have variety. You used to be able to go, there were lots of theaters that were showing movies that maybe came out 6 months ago, or, every theater kind of had its own flavor. Oh, that theater is known for showing all the blockbusters. This one is the one known for kind of like the studio indies, the ones that are a little more off the beaten path. This one's pure art house where it's stuff you can only find here. I liked when theaters had more of their own unique personalities. And little by little, that's all been going away. And it's just been, a very homogenized, corporate, sanitized theatrical experience. And I feel like part of the renaissance of what's going to happen with movie theaters moving forward is that they're going to have to try to find a way to engage their audience more than just, we're going to give you a movie theater. We're going to give you a whole experience. And something else now that I like, a new sort of wrinkle, is I also think they would be wise to start really pushing the monthly membership angle. Really push that, where for some, low rate, whatever it is, $20, $30 a month, you can see as many movies as you want. I think that is sort of the key, because most people will go, all right, $20, for people who like going to movies. You hear, oh, okay, for $20, $25, whatever it is, I can go to any, this movie theater as many times as I want throughout the month to see a movie. That's worth it to me. And then what ends up happening is that recurring charge just starts accumulating. Like, that's how businesses make a ton of money. I think the monthly memberships, essentially making it like, think about it like a gym membership. It's like applying the gym membership model to movie theaters, where you're paying that monthly fee with the idea that you're going to go there. And when you do go, you get a lot out of it and you can really take advantage of it. But a lot of people don't even end up doing that. But you'll spend that, that monthly charge will go, and you'll like having the freedom, whether or not you're actually going. But meanwhile, the movie theater is making all of that membership money. So I feel like that might have to be part of the evolution also, to really lean into those club memberships where, you get people to pay that monthly fee, and that's kind of, part of your way of trying to hook people. And I feel like a lot of the hardcore, the types of people who are more willing to leave their homes because they want to go to theaters, because they really crave that whole social experience of seeing this in a room filled with strangers and going on that journey together. For that crowd, it's going to be a pretty easy sell if you're like, hey guys, you hardcore movie fans, here is a reasonably priced monthly membership. And maybe they can make another incentive too, where like, you also get, like exclusive dibs to when it goes digital later on or something like that. I think that the monthly membership, basically almost like treating movies like a gym membership, I think that might be part of the evolution as well. So yeah, I think overall the theaters, the theater industry has, their answer to your question, Tavo, has been, we're going to just keep giving you more and more stuff to try to make the experience here, better. You want more comfortable seating? Bam, more comfortable seating. You want to not worry about being late to your movie because you have reserved seating, so it doesn't matter what time you show up? Bam, we're going to give you that. You want to be able to order an ice cold beer and a burger straight to your chair as you watch the latest Fast and Furious movie. Bam, here it is. The theaters are basically trying to roll out the red carpet to make it as welcoming as possible. But I think moving forward, they're going to have to like step that up, and they're going to, I think that's going to be what happens. And I think it's going to become more of a niche market. I think, the people who want to go to theaters, they might be in like the minority, but they're going to be the ones who keep the whole theater experience alive. I think we're going to lose probably, a lot of locations for, actual movie theaters are probably going to have to disappear. But yeah, I kind of think that's where we're headed. So I hope that answered your question.